Welcome to the Superlatively Yes podcast, friends. I'm your host, Tanya Smith.
And I'm your other host, Jarrett Dawson, substituting for Jasa Young.
I just got a flashback of when they would insert a different character, like on Family Ties, and they would go, "Today, the part of Meredith is being played by," and you would just have to pretend that was normal.
Right.
So here we go, pretending that it's normal.
Yeah, so I'm Meredith today. Or I'm like like the next Darren on Bewitched.
That's what it is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
or
just
when
recast
they switched,
Jasa.
The mom out on Fresh Prince. Okay, anyway.
Oh, I hated that.
Oh, and then we just all
I am
pretended.
first Aunt Viv all the way.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, we're doing something here. Be sure to visit our show notes each episode for links to all the good things and places we love and recommend. You can also find us on Facebook, on Superlatively Yes, on Instagram at Superlatively_yes, and on Patreon at Superlatively Yes.
You really need to sign up for Patreon, everybody. Today we are talking about the upcoming Soiree, the Taylor Swift Rain Show, Tanya's latest adventures and fun finds, including some permanent jewelry that's a thing, I'm told, and Shepard's 16th birthday.
Fun. Thanks for joining us today, friends. Here we go.
This is where the music plays, right?
Yes.
Oh no, we're gonna have like intros. Like,
Hey, Jarrett.
hey Tanya.
You totally couldn't stay quiet for that 10 seconds between the last thing and the first thing.
Oh,
That's
is it
okay.
10 seconds? I didn't even know. Is that the rule?
okay.
We're supposed to be quiet for 10 seconds?
Well, I mean, you're new here. It's okay. You're not
It's
that
true,
new
yeah.
here. You should know the rules by now.
Well, I've never recorded by myself before, like without Jasa and like in her whole studio setup and everything, like this is the first time. I feel like a bandit coming in and just ransacking the place.
Yeah, you
I
literally
literally-
are in her studio.
I literally knocked something off the wall trying to set up in Jasa's little space here, so I'm gonna have to clean up after myself. Like I don't know how someone can make such a mess of just trying to record, but I did.
My favorite part will be when Shep comes home from school and sees you upstairs recording. Does he know?
You know what? He does know, actually, because I texted him earlier today and I said, because he's at school right now and he should be home soon, I said, don't be frightened when you come home and I'm recording with Tanya in your house. And he, laughed and said, okay. And then I followed up and said, and don't be alarmed when you open the door and I have a blonde wig and a southern accent.
As you do.
As, of course, if you're watching this on video, you know that I do have a blonde wig on right now.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, that's great. That's great. Okay, well, hey, I haven't talked to you alone in so long.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's been forever, yeah.
Where have you been? You have not been around.
No. Well, and so I've been, gosh, okay. Well, so the most recent place I just got back from was Chicago because I was there for a work conference and it was a lot of fun. We were, doing some like tech, audio, video, lighting industry exhibitions. So, like we were exhibiting and we got to see a lot of like LED wall cameras, like Philips and Canon and Sony and Panasonic and all those people are there. So a lot of good, a lot of good networking. I'm at a LED manufacturer who, one of their people let me fly his drone and I crashed it into a tree.
Jarrett,
Within like 2 minutes.
I'm going to assume it wasn't a Walmart drone.
It was like the whole setup was like $1,200 for his drone, and it comes with like VR goggles, and so it was the coolest thing ever though because it has like a remote control, and the goggles are like the camera is going into the VR goggles, so like you are the drone, like you are seeing what the drone is seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And you are the drone. And so, like, you're flying over the building, you're,
That's
like
amazing.
going over the street, and then you're crashing into the pine trees. Yeah.
Okay, so you couldn't control you couldn't control the drone. The drone it went rogue.
Well,
What happened?
I mean, it was like really stable. And the drone is like, it's so small. Like, it is probably, I'm not even exaggerating, like the whole thing is probably about this big. And, for those not watching the video, I mean, it's probably, like maybe the size of like like a salad plate. It's really.
I was wondering how you were gonna put that.
I was
in
thinking,
there.
well, the first thing that came to my mind was, like a hot pad that you would put a pot on.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I thought of a
yes.
salad plate. I can't get out of the kitchen. That's all
Well,
I'm thinking about.
So here, I just have our latest book here, and I was thinking it's probably about the size of this book.
It is, yeah.
The
It's probably
paperback,
about
a
the size.
standard
I think
paperback
I
book.
have the latest book. Wait, no, this is not the right book, is it?
That's a great book, but it's not one of
That's
one
not
of
the
our
book.
books. No.
Yeah, it's just what I'm using as my coaster for my drink. So
That's great.
anyway, so this guy, he's like, talking to me about his drone, and then he says, "Do you want to fly it?" And I was like, and I met this guy like 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Literally the
Wow.
first time I've met this man, he says, "Do you want to fly this drone?" Of course I say yes.
Okay,
So,
because that implies that like it's a safe thing to do. It's anybody can
right.
fly the drone.
Yeah, I was like, "Are you sure? I mean, you don't you don't care for some stranger that you don't know to do this?" And he was like, "Nah, these things are so easy to fly." And I said, "Okay, fine." So, yeah, probably 2 minutes in, I'm like, "Oh, this is incredible. I love this." And then, I got way too close to this line of pine trees, and it just, it's making these like loud sounds, and I'm like trying to, I've got the controller in my hand, and I'm still wearing the goggles, so like from my perspective, like I'm stuck in a tree, and I'm trying to, and I'm like pushing forward, with full power, and it's like, ooh, and it's not getting, it's this tiny little thing with these little propellers, ooh. And so I'm like,
Well, wait. So I'm assuming the man doesn't know you're stuck in the tree because he's
No,
not
he's
seeing
standing
what you're
right
seeing?
next to
so
me.
he's
He's
just
standing
standing
right
there
next
like
to me.
thinking everything's going great, but you're
oh
like,
no, because he can see the drone. It wasn't far away because he can see it right in front of him that it's just gone into the tree. And so he was like, "Hey, why don't I try?"
yes.
And
What
he,
a
like,
nice
very
way to say, "Give me
politely
my drone back."
takes the controls away. And so then he's trying to get it out. And again, I just met this guy. I don't even know his last name at this point. We just exchanged first names. And so
and insurance
he's-
information.
we're about to get to that point. I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to have to buy this guy a new drone." And so yeah, he's trying to get it out, and it's not coming out. And he's like, hold on. And he's not worried at all. And this guy's name is John. He's not worried at all. And I said, "John, I'm so sorry." He's like wearing the goggles now. Like he's taking over the goggles. And so he's trying to get the thing out of the trees. And he was like, "Oh, no, it's fine. We'll get it." And I was just like, I'm going to have to climb a tree. I'm about to climb a tree. And it's like, it's not stuck 6 feet in the air. I mean, we're talking like the fire department might get involved because it is probably like they're very tall trees. It's like 3 stories high, probably.
Yeah. So my question is, if you're in Chicago and you have a drone emergency, can you call the fire department? I'm going to say no. What do you think?
I don't know.
I don't-
Well, I think it might have escalated to the point where I was stuck in the tree, and now I'm the emergency because I climb
Right.
up into the tree, get stuck. Thankfully, that didn't happen. So eventually, it did come down, and so we were able to just like go pick it up off the ground. And yeah, he was never worried for even a second. He was just like, "Oh yeah, that was fun."
You know what that tells me? John did not have a significant financial investment in that drone. That was a company drone.
No, it really was his personal drone.
Oh, stop making it worse. I hate it. I hate this story.
No, but apparently, so there is more context to this. So he told me that was not his first drone. That was the second drone that he had of that exact same kind. Because, and here's another reason why he wasn't as upset with me for getting it stuck in a tree, is because when he first bought it, he and his wife were going on vacation to, I think, Virgin Islands. So they had that trip booked. He bought the drone to take on the trip. And so he wanted to get some, really cool footage of the ocean, from the boat. So they're on this boat, and, it's him and his wife, and I think they have like a group of them, their friends are there. And so maiden voyage. Okay, they're out on this boat in the ocean, and he's like, talking about the kind of shots they might get, and his friends are like, "Oh, what you could do? You could, kind of like back up from the boat, and then kind of come around the sail." And so they were all talking about, like what kind of cool footage are we going to get from this drone? And so I think he's got it in his hand. And so he takes off with this drone, and it starts, going up into the air. But then, because they're on like this big sailboat of some, maybe it was a catamaran, I don't know. But so it had a big sail, and he said apparently the way the air came off the sail,
Oh no.
it literally just like scooped the drone, slammed it back down onto the boat. It ping-ponged around the boat and then flew off into the water, like literally on takeoff. Like first use, literally the first time he's using this drone, not first time he's using it ever, but the first time he's using it on the trip, because he bought it for the trip. And so it just goes into the water, and then everybody's just quiet. Like,
Right. What just happened? Did that just happen? It flopped around like a fish out of water, and then it went in the water. That's
yes,
great.
yes. So he got no footage.
John, here's my advice to you. Get out of the drone business. Try something else. Maybe something stationary that doesn't fly.
Now, thankfully, he did get insurance on that drone. And so DJI is the company who makes it. And I think it's the Avante, something like that. But very cool product. And they will sell you an insurance policy that you should buy.
Evidently.
Yeah. So he got it replaced under the insurance policy. So he probably wasn't worried, because he's like, I've got this one insured too.
Because, they've seen a thing or two at Avante.
They know a thing or two.
That's it. They know a thing or two. They've seen a thing or two. Oh, by the way, you're just sitting there talking like it's normal, and we did not talk about like where your sister is.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's like, so why is he here? What happened to Aunt Viv?
What?
Where
There
is
seems to
Aunt
be an
Viv?
elephant in the room. Yes.
So Jasa and Cliff are in California. They're up in San Jose. Believe they are helping Mary finalize some things with her house, because I think it's already been said on the show that she's moving to Tennessee.
It hasn't.
Has it not?
It hasn't. I don't know how
Do we
many
need to edit that out? I don't know.
Why don't you just start that over and just say that her and Cliff are traveling to California, but they're going to be back for Shep's party. Let's do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Jasa and Cliff are traveling in California. They are out in San Jose, but they will be back for Shepard's birthday party on Saturday. They're literally flying in Saturday. They're traveling like through the night, coming in Saturday morning, taking a quick nap in the afternoon. Then we've got an escape room planned. We have reservations at Virago, which is the nicest sushi restaurant in all of Nashville.
Oh, that says Shep. Yes.
Shepard does not even yet know that we have reservations at Virago. So he and I have had sushi at a lot of different places. He loves sushi now because I have made him in my image. So he's a big sushi fan.
You have. Exactly.
He's such a snob now. He's the worst. It's amazing. I love it.
I love it too.
Yeah.
I'm living for it. Okay. Escape room, sushi. That's a whole
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, he may know, but I didn't tell him yet. So, but it's a sushi place that we've talked about and like looked at, and we're like, that place looks nice.
Well,
So,
good. Good. And he'll be 16. That's
16.
Whoa.
Sweet 16.
yes. Driving a car, all the things.
Yeah.
Living near Nashville.
Yeah, it's kind of like a progression.
What more could you want?
Right. Yeah, he's kind of been building up to it because, he got his hardship license back when, like me, Cliff, and Jasa were all out of town at the same time.
Right.
So he had to get a hardship license to get himself to and from school. So, he's kind of been driving alone for a few months now, maybe like a couple of months.
Yeah.
So, he's kind of, easing into it. So, it's easier for Jasa, honestly. I think it's better for Jasa than it is for him that he's had a chance to kind of like ease into the driving.
Well, I'm excited for him. I know there's people coming in. You guys are going to have a party. And our original plan was per Jasa, not per Tanya, to like Sunday or whenever everybody was in, to like everybody just like stop what they're doing and then come record a podcast. And I was just thinking, I've been with the Dawsons. They don't ever stop what they're doing.
No, that was absolutely never going to happen. Like a party with the Dawsons, just, hey, so we're going to take a quick break. And
For an hour.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. Everybody, talk amongst yourselves. And then, we're going to come back and restart the festivity. No, we're not that organized.
It's
not even close.
It was a great thought, though, and I appreciate the thought behind it. But I just I didn't want to impose on the party like that. So, yes, hence.
It was a good intention, but it was part of the paving to the road to hell. Yeah.
And here's where we left off with Jasa. The last time we talked, Leighton was going to the Taylor Swift concert in Nashville. And tell us, you know more about that than I do.
Oh, I know all about that, and here's why. So, first of all, Leighton, let's just start out at the end by telling all the listeners that Leighton did not just go to the Taylor Swift show. Leighton went to what is now famously called the Rain Show.
That's amazing. I put TikTok back on my phone for 24 hours just for two things: Joshua's TikTok page and to see everything related to the Taylor Swift Rain Show. And this was before I knew Leighton was there. I thought she was at the one the night before. So mind blown. Today I learned she was at the Rain Show. No better experience. This is a day that will live in infamy. Is that too dramatic? Is that wrong?
Honestly, I feel like I was kind of a part of it because, I didn't go to the concert, but I feel very involved in the whole thing because the plan originally was that, Jasa and Cliff were going to keep the babies. That part of the plan did happen. That was normal.
Okay.
Everything else was a little bit adjusted from its original plan. So the original plan was Shepard and I were going to take Leighton downtown, drop her off at Nissan Stadium. Then we were going to go eat, watch a movie, go to the theater.
Right.
Then by the time dinner and a movie is over, we pick up Leighton. We were planning on being home around, maybe 11:30, midnight or so. So Leighton was kind of skipping the openers.
Plan.
Yeah. She wasn't going for the openers, so we figured we're gonna miss the bulk of the entry traffic, So she was planning on getting there around, like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I think Taylor was supposed to go on at 8 or 8:30, and so then, we get down to right around the stadium. Like we're there, we're around the stadium, and it's raining. It starts to thunder. There's lightning, and all of a sudden, she gets text. So she's got friends. She gets texts from her friends who are already in the stadium. They've gone to the openers, and before the openers go on, like right before the openers were supposed to go on, right before the whole thing is supposed to start, they get this announcement from Nissan Stadium. Everybody has to move indoors. We have to shelter in place because the storm is coming. And so the show was delayed. So, and by the way, the friends who were there, okay, one of them, I understand, is our biggest fan, Ida.
Right. Yes. This was all about Ida in the beginning, part of her birthday surprise. Yes.
Exactly. So, bringing it full circle, like that birthday surprise that the listeners all remember.
Sure.
This was that trip. And so Ida, poor thing, on her birthday, she and all of her sisters and her mom, they all came for this concert, and they're all just sitting in the lobby of a box suite, being harassed and yelled at by this very angry security woman who, tells them they can't talk, they can't sing, they can't go to the bathroom. No, Tiny Tim, you can't have more porridge.
This is awful. This is terrible.
I think I'm mixing Oliver Twist. Yeah. So, yeah, they were told, like a third grade classroom or something. They were told, like, no talking.
What in the world? Okay, so they're like trying to control the environment. They want everybody to be calm. Okay.
Yeah.
How did that work out?
Well, not well, because Nissan Stadium posted on their Facebook, "Keep singing, we hear you, we love it." So
okay, so there was a lack of
these
communication.
Are mixed messages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so thankfully now, I'm so sorry, Ida. I know you're listening to this. I know that was hard for you, but thankfully Leighton did not have to go through all of that because she was with us. And I met Ida, by the way.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, we had dinner with all of them before the day before the show. And yeah, it was so awesome meeting a fan. My only fan, actually. Not. That's not.
No, just keep it right there. Don't change it. Keep it right there.
Anyway, my singular fan,
Right.
my sole fan that I have
I meant what you knew.
is what I meant, yeah. And so, so it was
You
great.
just turned red. Your ring light just brought out
Yeah,
all
hold
the
on. I
red.
need to change
You
the temperature on my
embarrassed
ring light.
yourself. Which is very difficult. I've never seen it before.
No, I don't embarrass easily.
You embarrassed your own self. That was fantastic.
Oh, man.
It's
That's
live
hilarious.
and recorded. Well, here's what I was seeing on TikTok. Okay, I was hearing stories. I've been watching Instagram stories. The deep dive was real. So what I heard was like they were saying to people, "You're welcome to leave. We don't want you to because lightning, and we'll not let you back in." Mm-hmm. So it seems to me like if you're out and you haven't come into the stadium yet, that's a better situation than being sardined in the corridor and being told to stay quiet, which is
because you're
terrifying.
stuck. Like once you're in, you're stuck. But the people who didn't come in yet, like they still can come in if and when the show starts. So yeah, it was way
Interesting
better.
flex, Nissan. You think they could have flexed on that particular rule in this particular situation? So I don't know. I don't know about
They
that.
ended up waiting for like 3 hours before any kind of music was played at this concert.
And all I can think about is, did they drink a beverage before they were told to shelter in place? Because that's where I would be in trouble.
I think
I would be in
lot
big
of
trouble
people drank
right there.
beverages.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then you've got on the sequins and you're hot and you're sweaty and it's humid and there's body heat and there's people. And I'm just glad Leighton was in the car. I'm sorry for everyone else that wasn't. I really am. But here's what I know. It was worth the wait.
Well, especially Leighton would tell you that it was worth the wait because from our perspective, we just went downtown, got coffee, ate sushi, and not at Virago. We went to Blue Sushi, which is our, kind of like everyday favorite in Nashville.
Okay, an everyday sushi. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. They have all-day happy hour on Sundays, so if you're in the Nashville area, check out Blue Sushi on Sunday. Fantastic happy hour. So anyway.
That was free, guys. You didn't even have to pay
free.
for that.
Yeah. And now I don't have to pay for that Blue Sushi. So I'm kidding. That's not how it works.
Be nice.
I wish. Yeah. So the way that it turned out for Leighton was actually, it was perfect. We loved the way that it all turned out because number one, we got extra time with her. So, we were just going to drop her off and then have dinner and go to a movie without her. We ended up going to coffee and getting dinner with her. And then get this. Okay. So we put our name on the list for the sushi place. They say it's like an hour and a half wait. We say fine. So we go to this coffee shop, just, Elixir Coffee, just right across the street. And, we're like hanging out, having a good time, talking to each other. And then I said, I feel like we didn't get a text yet, but like I feel like our table's ready. Like I just feel it,
Because it had been over an hour or you just had like a sixth sense? Okay, gotcha.
Well, they told us an hour and a half and it had been about an hour. And I said, I just feel it. Like I feel like the table's ready. And I've been to a lot of restaurants and I feel in tune with them, like an avatar might feel in tune, with nature. Like I feel in tune with restaurants.
That was a good analogy, by the way. Better than your salad plate one earlier. So good job.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say it was about the size of a ring light, but you can't see the ring light. So the restaurant told us that it would be an hour and a half, but after an hour I was like, kind of feel like it. So we went up there. I said, hey, is our table ready? And they were like, let me check. And then they sat us. So,
okay.
Then, we kind of just like ate, weren't rushing because like no updates are coming. Nissan Stadium's still saying, hey, hang in there, everybody. Just keep waiting a little bit longer. It's been 3 hours. So,
but props to Taylor Swift for not canceling that concert because everyone had traveled and planned and their lives had been anticipating this concert for how long, I wonder? Months and months.
Months. Yeah.
So,
Well,
she could have easily canceled. Nissan could have easily canceled that thing.
Easily.
So, props to everyone for you know what? On with the show.
I actually have a theory.
Tell me.
And I base this on nothing. Nothing. I have no evidence.
Most theories are based on nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, more or less. Just hunches and guts.
You're drinking that LaCroix, and that's going to come back to haunt you in about 15 minutes.
Is this about beaver sphincters?
This is about... I do not know
Is that what you're going to tell me?
I heard those two words that you just said together. I'm going to ignore them, and I'm just going to say the sparkling bubbles are going to come back to haunt you in about 15 minutes.
Oh, the bubbles. I thought you were... Well, apparently natural flavors sometimes are derived from the sphincters of beavers.
That's got to be one of your theories that's based on nothing.
You can Google it. It's like a real thing.
No.
Like I Googled it because I thought there's no way that's a real, but
Stop it.
It's in like a lot of foods too. Like a lot of
No.
foods. Are you Googling it right now?
I'm terrified to Google those two words in the Google machine. I don't know.
Natural flavors.
Okay,
That's
that's
one
much
of the
better
things
than what
that
I was Googling. Okay.
I mean, it is natural. Like it wasn't made in a lab. Like it came from a beaver. So it's not unnatural.
Okay, I just really want you to move on from this conversation.
So you weren't going to say beaver sphincters.
Under no circumstance was I going to. Okay, so anyway, well, if the FDA is regulating it as I'm seeing right now, that is probably never ideal. So you know what? I'm going to go down that rabbit trail
Another time.
that beaver tail after this podcast.
Yeah. We might have to do a deep dive
What were
on
we
Patreon
talking
for
about, Jarrett Dawson?
that. I don't
before?
know. Something about Taylor Swift. So, here's my theory. Yeah. And this theory is actually a lot less proven than the last thing I just said. So, the theory, though, is because we were just getting vague updates with no real concrete information from Nissan Stadium. That's what their Facebook was putting out pretty constantly. And then Taylor posted something to her own Instagram that said something to the effect of, some people are trying to talk about canceling, but, just hang in there. Like, we are going on.
Taylor was...
So that was like the first...
She was back there fighting for her fans. That's what you're saying. And
that's my theory. My theory is they were arguing about it, and people were like, it's a liability issue. We don't know how the storm is going to react. We need to cancel. And then I theorized because the first indication of yes, the show is happening was from her directly on Instagram. It didn't come from Nissan. It didn't come from, any other sources. Like her Instagram, like her own personal statement, we are going on, was like the very first thing that anyone was told definitely. Like, yes, it's still happening.
Yeah, and the people needed that. The people needed to hear from Taylor. Yes.
After that, things started moving, and they were like, "We're, working out the details. We're expecting her to go on shortly." And then, they actually gave the announcement, like, "People head back to your seats. We're going to start the show at this time." So right when we paid for our food, and then we're walking out the door of the restaurant, they actually sent out the formal announcement, the show is starting at this time, which I think was like 9:30 or 10.
So late at night. Absolutely. It was definitely for the young people. And I'm wondering if anybody left and they were like, oh man, I shouldn't have left. I think that's what, you don't know in that
I think a lot of people did. Well, because we were on the we were this close. Like, we were this close to just throwing in the towel and leaving, but we were like, hey, we'll go to dinner, we'll see what happens. So, yeah. We really were talking, when our check was coming to the table, we were kind of talking like, what do we do next,
Well, here's what I know. I was on Leighton Gately's Instagram. I was stalking her, and I was getting nothing. So I'm going to tell you.
Refresh.
I didn't know what was happening. I would have loved some more updates to know. Yeah, she was otherwise engaged, is what you're saying. She was otherwise engaged. Okay, well, you know what? I'm just glad she got to go and experience the most epic concert of her time.
Yeah, I mean, she said it was like the most incredible thing she's ever seen. And the rain show, it seemed like Taylor Swift turned a bad thing into a good thing, because now the people who were a part of that experience, that was like the rain show. Like the whole tour is pretty iconic. This era's tour, from what I'm told, is pretty iconic. But they got to go to the rain show.
Well, I heard one statement that Taylor said, like, not every crowd is a rain crowd, but this crowd is a rain crowd. And I was like, oh, I love it. I love it. Well, we, while Leighton was sitting in the rain watching Taylor Swift, Sean and Jordan and Josh and I headed back to our hometown of Russellville to attend a wedding. So that was great. We felt good about that.
Who got married in Russellville? Do I know these people? Maybe.
Yeah, probably. Did you know Cameron Lane?
No.
Okay.
No,
it's his
but I'll bet
daughter,
Jason
Kate.
does.
Yeah. So his youngest daughter, Kate, got married, and she's a couple of years older than Josh. I mean, they went to church together, grew up together, haven't seen each other in a while because life. But anyway, it was Kate. We had to go to the wedding. It was beautiful. It was at a beautiful venue, and it was the one day of the entire month of May where it was like, I would like to be 101 degrees in the shade today. We left there looking like we had attended the Taylor Swift rain concert.
And just drenched in sweat.
Like, water? Does anyone have water? And of course they did. They had everything. It was fantastic. But anyway, so we did that, and then we drove all the way home. And that's a fur piece, as one might say, from Russellville back to the top side of Northwest Arkansas. So we did that. We felt really good about that. That also, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. Keep going on the wedding.
Oh, yeah. So it was stunning. Jordan's friend Mariah was a bridesmaid, so it was really fun to see her and, to sit together and then catch up with my people. I really have been missing my people. And, sometimes when you walk in, like, you just get that feeling that comes over your whole body when you're like, my people are here and I've missed
that's
them.
what I was going to ask is, like, did you get to see, like, a ton of people? Was it a wedding where, like, yeah, there's a few people I know here? Or was it just like, oh, I know all of these people?
It was the perfect amount, because had it been more, I wouldn't have been able to speak to everyone, because things happen kind of quick at a wedding, and then like do this, and then sit down at your tables, and then there's other things. So during the time between the wedding and the reception, I really did. I got to speak to so many people, and then sat with Michael and Cheryl and the twins and all of us at a table. We took up an entire table, the 8 of us. So that was great. And then the next day was Sean's 55th birthday.
Yes. I was going to ask, where did you go? What did you do?
I'm going to tell you, Sean has turned into Tanya Smith in his.
No.
We've been just like you have raised a Shep, I have raised a Sean, and so
he has a blonde wig just like me.
Red.
A red wig, yeah. Well, you're under your touched by an angel light, and so it looks like.
Can we talk about that?
It looks like a blonde.
Can we
one.
talk about my problem with my lighting? I do look like.
I think we should. Yeah.
Someone's trying to beam me up. I don't know. We have like a windstorm warning coming into Little Flock, and my internet is shaky anyway on a regular non-windstorm day.
Right.
So I don't know if it's affected the lighting in the house.
Still don't understand how that works, but.
I don't know either. It's Little Flock, Arkansas. So that's the beginning and the end of that. Cox is working on it, is what we are always being
working
told.
On it. For those not watching, I just used very aggressive air quotes. Scathing air quotes. One of my favorite
internet stories is when my IT expert neighbor lived next door this time last year. And he does like serious internet stuff from his home. Like, he was set up like Fort Knox over there. It was unbelievable. And one day, Cox decided to just turn off the internet so they could do their work. And he looked out his front door, and he saw the guy on the lift that had turned off the internet, had given no one notice. He's in the middle of this huge meeting. So he walks to the end of the street.
Middle of the day? They just shut off his internet?
It's like the wild, wild west. There's no one running the show. So Brian walked to the end of the street. He says, "Excuse me, did you just turn off the internet?" And he's like, Yeah, I gotta work on some updates. And he said, "You need to turn it back on. I have a meeting that's gonna last for another 2 hours. You can turn it on after that." And the guy turned it back on. Maybe that's why we still have bad internet in Little Flock.
They're just doing it out of spite.
They hold a long grudge. But okay, so anyway, Sean has become me. We didn't celebrate on Sunday. We celebrated every day that led up to Sunday.
I'm all about it. Birthday week. Yeah.
So we went to Napoli's Italian restaurant. You aren't okay, but they have a new location, Jarrett. You don't know
what are you
about
talking
it.
about?
Across from Lowe's
Willis.
in the old Copeland's building. Total remodel.
Oh, yeah.
Tons of great
exactly
service.
Where that's at.
They added a huge bar area.
I'm so glad because that's
phenomenal.
a phenomenal restaurant location.
It was one of the
that's
best
prime
kept
real
secrets.
estate. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm glad that
Napoli's-
something good showed up there.
One of the best kept secrets in Northwest Arkansas was our little Italian restaurant, but now everybody knows about it because it's got this big location in the middle of town. So we went there twice.
Wait, sorry, I got to back up. Is that a new location, like they moved, or they opened a second location?
New location, closed the old one. It was in the strip
Okay,
mall.
so they just moved.
You know how it's like churches and restaurants. They all start in a strip mall, and then they have to fight for the space with the drug dealers, and then they get
We
to
currently
go.
attend a church in a strip mall.
See?
But they're doing a renovation project. And they're
Exactly. This is how it works.
It's so accurate.
So anyway, not once but twice. First time we went, just Sean and I. Second time we went, Jordan joined us. So 2 times. Then we went to see Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm.
It's a very long movie. It's like 190 minutes long.
190. Hold on. So
It's
120
something
is 2
ridiculous.
hours. So that's like 3 hours.
When Jordan leaned over and said, "This movie is this many minutes long," like the mental math in my head exploded, and then I began to like sink in my seat because I hate being trapped in a movie theater for like 30 minutes.
Where lots of pickles are being sold.
Oh my goodness. And I looked at her and said, "No, that's wrong. That's a lie. Say it right. Say it, don't." And she's like, "I'm not kidding you." Okay, so evidently I have no soul. This is what we determined about Sean's birthday weekend. Tanya she has no soul. And I'm thinking that this could be correct.
Tanya, you must though.
I don't.
You have an angel halo. You must have a soul.
I had a hysterectomy in 2018. Jordan says, "I think they took out your heart with your ovary," is what I think happened. She told me that after the movie. She was so serious. She was so mad at me because I did not
they took
shed a
your
tear.
heart out with your ovaries definitely needs to be in that little intro clip at the beginning of the episode. That's got to be in there.
Do you know how long it takes me to put together those clips? It takes me so long. And it's still worth it, though. But, okay, and that's all due to Jordan. She started that. Okay, so she sits through this movie. Jordan, my daughter, is sitting to the right of me. Sean is on my left. I accidentally booked the movie in 3D. So we all have on these ridiculously stupid 3D glasses. Sean is farsighted or nearsighted. So he has on his glasses with the 3D glasses on top of them.
Glasses on glasses.
So dumb. And I keep hearing Jordan sniffle. She's sniffling through the whole movie. I lean over, "Would you like a Claritin?" And she's like, "No, I'm fine." And she keeps sniffling through the whole. She was crying her eyes out.
During Guardians of the Galaxy?
For the whole 190 minutes.
Just because she loves Chris Pratt or what?
No, because
same.
there are, okay, so there's animals involved and children. And I guess
they have that little raccoon guy.
It pulls at one's heartstrings, which evidently I have no strings attached to a said heart.
Or ovary strings, yeah.
Also that. I sat there for 190 minutes thinking my daughter had allergy problems and wishing that I were next door at, "Hey, are you there, God? It's me, Margaret." I was like, I would like to be anywhere else. But here, I didn't like anything about the movie. Sean loved it. Jordan loved it. Like, we basically had to carry her out of there like a baby. She was so done and undone by this whole movie. And we get in the parking lot.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, I haven't seen it, so I guess I'm a little incredulous just because it doesn't seem like, the saddest, most emotionally poignant movie I could imagine, but maybe I should go watch it.
No, you're correct. If you go in there thinking I'm going to cry, I don't think you are. I don't know what.
I mean, I don't really cry in movies. I mean, I've cried in maybe like a handful of movies throughout my entire life. It's got to be pretty, pretty sad. I think it was
when you get older,
The Little Princess when I was
Jarrett,
7 is probably the last time.
As you get older, here's what you need to know. How old are you? 12?
31.
As you get older, your body gets more estrogen. and the testosterone falls off, and you're going to find yourself sitting in the middle of a movie theater crying over something stupid. So when it happens, I want you to think about this moment, and I warned you it was going to happen.
Is that why you cry less?
Too much testosterone.
Like as we get older, we're just gonna I'm gonna cry more, you're gonna cry less.
I think this is exactly what's gonna happen.
Huh.
I lose my soul. No, I actually think you're onto something. Okay, but let's move on from our hormones and go to something different.
Yeah.
Okay, so I covered that. Covered Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, so that was another one of Sean's birthdays. So that okay, so now we're on day Napoli's, then another Napoli's, and then Guardians of the Galaxy. And then Sunday, we have a party at the house.
Yes.
His actual birthday.
Okay, so his actual birthday is Sunday.
May the 7th. Yes. So then we got the big balloons that say 55. Fives don't portray well in a latex medium. So it looked like he was holding SS. There's not like some real sharp corners, but use your imagination, which is great for Sean Smith. But also 55. So anyway, we did that. We ordered.
Oh yeah, Sean Smith. Okay, well it works either way.
Yeah, it worked out. So someone pointed that out to me. He sent me a message and said, "Yeah, it says SS for Sean Smith," and I thought that's clever. It does. Okay, so then what we had ordered a few days before was a double doozy cookie cake. Are you familiar?
I understand all of those words separately.
One giant sheet of cookie as big as a platter.
Bigger than a drone.
So much bigger than a salad plate.
Bigger than a salad plate.
So much icing in the middle. And then you layer it with another giant 18-inch round cookie. And then you put all of your icing on top of that. And when you carry it out of the store, it's like it's a bicep situation. You got to work on some. And they were like, make sure you hold it in the middle. That thing will cave in on you.
Oh, wow. So this is like as thick as like a piece of cake, but like it's made of cookie.
Yeah.
That sounds incredible.
Icing. It was great. It was it was an obscene amount of cookie is what I'm going to tell you. Obscene. No one should be allowed to have that much cookie at their house.
But this is America, and we are.
We fought for those freedoms. And so I started taking it to the neighbors. And so I'm doling it out little, slices at a time to people that are like, sure, I'll take some of your leftover cookie.
Yeah.
Which worked out well for me because I sent a big thing of cookie to my next door neighbor, Kara. She called the next day and she said, I've made too much dinner. Kara is like you. She's a fantastic cook. She knows her way around a kitchen. Unlike me, who I just know where it is. I know that
she can definitely eyeball a salad plate just by looking at the size of it.
With her eyes closed, she can eyeball it.
Yeah.
So she texted. She's like, I've made this meatless red lentil coconut soup.
Meatless red lentil coconut soup.
Again,
meatless. So meatless was just for your benefit.
Yeah, well.
Because I'm thinking, I don't think that ever has meat in it. But.
She sent me a picture of the recipe, and it actually, in the recipe, it said meatless red lentil coconut soup.
Okay. I mean, I feel like red lentil coconut soup kind of just sounds like a meatless plant-based soup. It sounds like something
I would like, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I told my mother what I had for dinner that night, and she said, well, that sounds like something you would like.
I'm going to start describing just like normal vegetarian things as meatless. Like meatless coconut water. Like meatless raw cashews, unsalted.
Yes,
just like vegans, stuff that doesn't ever have meat in the first place, but like you got to describe it as meatless. Yeah.
Meatless spaghetti. Well, no, that could be a thing. That's
true.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. No, all the vegans of the world say thank you. And thank you. Please always do that for us. But no, it's so good. I had it for 2 days. It's so good. And I don't know, was it just that good or I didn't have to cook it that good? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it was so great.
Can you like send the recipe?
I thought about you. I took a screenshot of the recipe.
I kind of want to try that.
And I'll post it for everyone.
Is it coconut milk that's in it?
You're asking me.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I'll read the recipe.
Okay.
Because I love coconut milk.
Let me tell you what put it over the top. Is she sent it, and then she texted back, and she said, do you have Hawaiian bread rolls at your house? And I was like, no. meatless. I don't have any meatless Hawaiian bread rolls at my house. And so she sent over a child with Hawaii, and she's like, okay, trust me on this. It sounds weird. Put them in the soup. Like pinch off pieces of the bread, put it in the soup.
Like not dip, but like put them into the soup.
Uh-huh. Oh, and they turned into like dumplings.
Oh.
Okay.
Did you like ball them up, or do you literally just like...
Yeah, because the Hawaiian bread is kind of it's a thicker of the breads. So when it goes into this, you're asking me to say things I don't know anything about, but I'm just saying it was so good.
I mean, I'm filling in for Jason on this podcast. I mean, that's all I'm doing today is just saying things I don't know anything about.
Oh, you're doing a great job. I'm really impressed with you. You're doing fantastic. Tell me what you've got. Okay, so I've got some more things, obviously, but I want to hear. You have another soiree coming up. Tell me about the details.
It's true. Okay, so yeah, you're going to love this. And if, of course, you know, I've already told you that you and your family are always invited. So, you know, like logistically, it's probably going to be hard to pull off since it's 1 week from today. But
and on my niece's graduation day.
And on your niece's graduation day. Yeah, otherwise, I'm sure you would be here, especially when you hear this menu because, so, I mean, this is like the third or fourth, you know, Tennessee soiree that I've hosted. And
Two words that don't go together all the time.
Tennessee soiree. A Franklin soiree. Okay, that's more fitting. Yeah. A Williamson County soiree.
I love it.
Yeah.
It does go together.
Yeah, it does. It does. Especially, yeah, you know, I think it's really a Berry Farms soiree.
Oh,
you know, that
makes even more sense.
Yeah, that's what it really is. So here's what I'm loving about it is, you know, like the menu, obviously, you know, I love cooking. You know, the food is a big part of the soiree. In fact, it's the main part for every soiree. That and the guest list, which is always phenomenal. We have Patsy, you know, not to name drop, but like Patsy is coming.
Right.
So
of all the
not
people,
a big deal.
Yes. She's amazing.
If Sean Smith won't come for me, maybe he'll come for Patsy. So
he'd be a lot closer. I can tell you that.
Tell him Patsy is going to be at this soiree. So, you know, maybe we should go.
They just really hit it off. Maybe we should explain to people who don't know who Patsy Claremont is, who she is. But
if you don't know who Patsy Claremont is, you know, I mean, you've got a Google in front of you, but also have you listened to this show?
Right.
Yeah. Is this your first episode?
If
so, thank you so much for listening. Please leave us a review.
Thanks for pulling back on the sarcasm. I know that's tough for you.
It is.
Do you know who called me right before, like, we started this podcast at 2:15 for the 2:30 podcast? Lana Dawson.
What did she say?
Lana is a spiritual hero.
Don't I know it?
Look at you. You're a living, breathing example.
I am the trial that made her this way. I am the refining fire that has pulled away all the dross and left you with nothing but the gold that she is today.
Yeah, we do have you to blame for that. We do. I know that. But no, she had called me earlier this week and she said, I've just been thinking about you and I just wanted to share these verses with you and just visit with you and just pray with you. And then she imparted some just wisdom that I needed.
Wow.
And then she followed back up today with more wisdom, more verses, more scripture, and then just more time with Lana. And I hated that I had to like rush off but anyway, she understood I was coming to podcast with you.
Well, and I mean, you know, that she does the same thing with me. So she's just treating you like one of her kids.
I feel that. And I like it. I accept it. Yes, absolutely. But okay, so back to the soiree.
Well, first, let me just say, because it is Shepherd's Sweet 16 this weekend, and that has us all just consumed, you know, unfortunately, I will not be able to be with you, Mom, for Mother's Day. But I want you to know, as I record this, that I mean everything about how incredible you are. And I really, really wish that I could be there. But I am looking forward to talking to you and you opening your gift. So, yes, happy Mother's Day. Although I think by the time you hear this, it will be the day after Mother's Day.
It will be. So happy Mother's Day to all to Lana and to all of our mothers. To my mother, to all of our mothers.
And also happy birthday to your main other host, Jasa Young.
Yes. When?
Yes.
Okay, wait, hang on. I got to pull my calendar out because I can't remember dates. It's like in days. Her birthday is in days.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, did I say birthday? I meant Mother's Day.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Although
You
it is next
really,
month. Yeah, her
really
birthday is
terrified me because
imminent.
I was thinking
it is
was
next month.
in
Yeah.
June. Okay. Don't do that to me. Okay.
Sorry, I just scared everybody.
You did.
Yeah. No, we've got time. Don't worry. We've got
Okay.
over a month. We've got time to plan for that. Yeah. So, anyway, though, okay, the menu is very exciting for the soiree because I mean, it almost feels like I was kind of considering like should I do this because it kind of feels like, you know, I'm about to die or that this is the last soiree because this is the best menu I've ever thought of.
You should
Reason
name
being-
it the last soiree. That way everyone will show up.
Everyone's like, what is going on? The last soiree. That's
Also,
so
it could be a
ominous.
murder mystery as well as a soiree.
Yeah. But like the victim is me and you never see me again.
That got dark. Okay.
So dark. So the menu though is inspired by the 5 places that I have lived, the 5 places that I have called home. And so every item on the menu is from one of my homes. So the 5 items are from Arkansas, California, Texas, Japan, and Tennessee. So
What
now
a mixture.
Arkansas,
Okay.
I got to
please
tell you,
me.
Arkansas, this is a tough one, you know, like it's my home state, it's where I was born. You know, there's a lot of things that I love about going back to Arkansas, but I was trying to think like what makes me feel like it's home, you know, like
I'm
what
wondering.
what reminds me of home, you know. And so that was a tough decision, but then when it came to me, it was so obvious.
What?
The Marketplace Flaming Queso.
I thought you were either going to say Stobie's queso or yes, Marketplace queso was on my list. Fantastic.
Well,
and also I
because-
was like Whitaker wine, Onyx coffee,
Ooh.
or a Stobie's or
Well,
a
there will also be
Marketplace.
Onyx coffee, but because there's
course.
always Onyx coffee. I just got a new shipment in a couple of days ago.
I saw that on your story. Good for
Love
you.
it. Yeah. Well, and quick shout out to Onyx Coffee for a great customer experience that I had with them. So if you order $40 or more in one sitting, they'll give you free shipping anywhere within the continental U.S. And so,
one
you know,
sitting.
typically in one sitting. So typically I'll order, you know, 2 boxes of coffee. You know,
Yes.
if you get 2 boxes, that's going to get you over your $40. And then they also had a promo for 15% off. And so I used that and it dropped my total down, like after taxes, it dropped my total down below $40. And I was thinking like, am I still going to get the free shipping?
Right.
They did still give me the free shipping.
Listen,
Even though I only paid $37.
as Jason said, you couldn't afford not to buy it.
Exactly. Yeah. So shout out to Onyx Coffee. Love you guys. You are setting the standard for coffee roasters again and again. Anyway, so Marketplace Grill was my first job not working for my family in some capacity. So the actual, you know, like first real high school job that I had was at Marketplace Grill. And every time I go back to Arkansas, that is one of the places that I must eat. I have to go to Marketplace. It is such a good restaurant to work at that there are, I'm not kidding, there are not just one, but numerous people who I worked with back in the early 2000s, back before the iPhone existed. There were people who I worked with who are still there to this very day. Servers, managers, cooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Like they're still,
Yes.
yeah, they're still there. It's a great place to work. And so, you know, they're consistent, you know, like it's like time stops because I can still, you know, no matter what else is happening in the world, I can still go to Springdale, Arkansas and visit Marketplace Grill and get a flaming queso in a cast iron skillet.
Knock on wood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone has like it's a 3 degrees to Marketplace story that I know. Jennifer's daughter Emily worked at Marketplace. Sean works down the road from Marketplace, and so whenever he has people come in, where do they go? They go to Marketplace.
Obviously.
Every now and then, when I go to see Sean around lunchtime, I'm like cheese fritters, broccoli cheese
Those.
fritters. Yeah.
So
It's
that
a
was
whole
actually
meal.
the other thing I considered because so the jalapeno cheese fritters, they added to the menu for the first time while I worked there. And it was my job to make them.
They are
And-
so good. They are so good. Okay.
So I was actually, so besides besides, like the actual owner of the restaurant, while they were developing the recipe, just like at home, I was actually the very first person to ever make the jalapeno cheese fritters.
What a claim to fame.
And they're still on the menu. They were actually a seasonal item. They were planning on taking them off, but they were so popular, they've been on the menu ever since. Never took it off.
That's true. That's true. When I was in college, my mom and I came to Fayetteville to grab some wardrobe stuff for a pageant. We came down. Remember there used to be a marketplace in Fayetteville?
Yes, the Marketplace Express in the mall, and then there was a freestanding by the Razorback Cinema that they built.
I think this might have even been before your time. It was so long ago. Like I was 19. I mean, so long ago. We stopped.
Well, that's got to be the mall one then, right? Like the Fayetteville Mall?
No, it was on the east side of Highway 71.
Are you kidding?
I think now
there was another Fayetteville Marketplace that I didn't know about?
Yep.
That's not possible.
Yeah. And so we stopped and ate there, and I got the cheese fritters, and I thought about them for a very, very long time. So the next time that we went to Fayetteville, which was like, that was not an everyday thing, was, a long time later, I wanted them, and they were like, oh no, those are a seasonal item. And I thought, this is where I die. The world has disappointed me, and I will never forget this disappointment. Okay, hey, time out. We have 5 minutes left to do the whole thing and wrap it up.
Oh my gosh. Well, you've got to tell me about, I think, permanent jewelry, right?
Yeah, we can talk about that, but finish your menu, and then we'll talk about that, and then you can close it out like Jasa always does, telling everyone to review us or whatever.
Oh, sure. Yeah, whatever she says.
Okay.
So that's Arkansas. California, that's a tough one because California has an incredible example of basically every food that's ever been invented on Earth.
True.
So, I mean, there's like a first generation immigrant from basically every country somewhere in Los Angeles who has opened a restaurant. So, like California is a tough one to nail down, but it's the first place that I ever had ceviche. So I am making some ceviche skewers wrapped in clear rice paper.
Tell the rest of the people what a ceviche is.
So ceviche is ceviche is this dish where it's very simple. It's fresh, so it's really just like fish and fresh vegetables. And so you can use shrimp or halibut or red snapper, lots of different options. So you cut up the fish, like it's you want as fresh as possible. Some tomatoes, onions, some lime juice, some avocado. And so you mix that up for like, you just leave it in the fridge for like an hour. The acid from the tomatoes and the lime and everything, the acid cooks the outside of the fish. And then
that's witchcraft. That's amazing.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So then, I'm going to wrap that. So typically you serve it like on a cracker, but, I'm like, I kind of want to make it more fancy. And I want to invent something. So, I'm wrapping it in the wax paper. So it's like clear and see-through, but it's like a bite. You can like eat it off a toothpick. Yeah.
Okay. That's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Texas is Texas chili. And it is a chili recipe that I made in college that actually won first place in my church chili cook-off. So I am serving award-winning Texas chili.
That's the best Hallmark movie thing I've ever heard in my whole life. In your church,
right?
In Texas, at your chili cook-off.
Okay, well, I got to clarify. It was actually my church in California. But there were Texans who entered the contest, and I beat them. So,
Same thing.
Just to clarify. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, there were Texans present competing, and I did beat them.
And you wiped the floor with them.
I did. So,
in Jesus' name.
Mm-hmm. In Jesus' name, yeah. 2016 Oak Hill Bible Church Chili Cook-Off first place winner.
Congratulations!
Yes.
You need a plaque. Do you have a plaque?
There's so there's one trophy, and there's like everybody's name is on the trophy for like each year. Like every winner is on it, and so my name is on the 2016.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. So, and then I later judged future competitions because that's kind of the tradition is like past winners are judges for future. So I've judged several as well.
What a power trip. Wow.
It's great. I love it. Yeah. And so, so that's Texas. And then Japan, I am serving, because I didn't want to do sushi, because like you can get sushi anywhere. So I'm serving yakitori, which is, sorry, I popped. I didn't pop. My microphone popped.
The microphone popped with the yaki and the tori. It was a lot of popping.
It was. For those who are not watching, I did not pop. I'm still, I look the same.
You do. Exactly the same.
So, yakitori. So it's little pieces of chicken marinated in this sauce that's made out of like soy sauce and sake and sugar and some wine. And so that you braise it, not braise, but you baste it and then cook it on like a charcoal grill, and they're served on these little skewers. And so they're just little bite-sized pieces of chicken. And so yeah, that's called yaki. Yaki means grilled. Tori means bird. So it's literally just grilled bird. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That
so
sounds
that'll be
amazing. That's good.
well, and my neighbor is Japanese, and so she's gonna help me make sure that I get the recipe right and the cooking and everything. So then the Tennessee one, I'm very excited about it. So I'm gonna have homemade little Nashville hot chicken
There you go.
tenders, but like cut up into little nuggets, and then those are gonna be served on tiny little cheddar biscuits. In like basically like a slider, and there's a little pickle on it because you gotta have a pickle.
Like a Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuit kind of situation? Okay, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, but like smaller. Yeah, so they're just like little bite-size hors d'oeuvres. So yeah, the 5 homes that I've ever had, a little item from every place.
Well, Jarrett, I think that's a great menu for your last soiree. I think it's fantastic. I love
last
everything
soiree.
about it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna outdo that, but that's where we are.
I don't know. Right. Maybe all the places that Cliff has visited. You could create.
We could get years worth of soirees out of that.
That'd be something. That'd be really fun. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. What else you got going on this week?
That's it. I mean,
Okay.
the birthday, the soiree. I mean, that's it for me. I mean, what about you? Did we talk about the permanent jewelry?
Oh, did I show my wrist to you earlier?
No.
Okay, so here's my wrist. And these little pieces of jewelry, it's kind of the new fad. I'm surprised you don't know about it. You'll know about it soon because all
I know
the
about
other,
it now.
Yeah. So, they weld it onto your wrist. Not onto your wrist. They
I don't
weld
think
the
so.
jewelry to
that
itself.
doesn't sound right.
And then, so here's, Joshua knows how to weld, and he's extremely good with his hands, and he's very detail oriented, and he's very artistic. A lot of people don't know this about Josh. So I'm like, hey, let's get you some rolls of gold. Mine were a little spendy because I went to a jewelry shop to have it done, and so it was like, this is gold and this is silver. I didn't want them to tarnish, and then I'm just stuck with jewelry on my arm that's tarnished. So I said, let's, maybe we do this. And he looked into it. He's like, that would be so easy. And he was explaining what type of weld it was. So I don't know, maybe coming soon to a pop-up shop near you. But I love it. I think
Permanent jewelry. That would have to be nice stuff, though. Like, you don't want permanent green wrists.
That's
like
exactly
you want
what I
real
was
gold
thinking.
for that. Yeah.
And
real silver.
You pay a little premium. I'm going to tell you it's worth it. I woke up the next day and I was like, what is this on my wrist? Oh, yeah. And then I was so happy about it. And I was like, oh, I'm so happy that's there. And every time I look at it, I'm like, I'm just so happy that's there. So I got a gold one and a silver one because, we mix our metals.
I only know that because I listen to this show every week. I do know that.
It's okay to mix your metals. So, yeah, that's so. And then let's see, tomorrow, Sean has a friend coming up. He and his wife, their daughters are playing in a softball tournament in Fayetteville. So we're going to go down and get some softball in. And then Sean said, what do you want for Mother's Day? And I'm like, listen, at this point, you have bought me no less than a dozen. No. No, I got rid of the ovaries.
Yeah.
No less
and
than
your heart.
I can't have a baby if you don't have a heart.
How would you nurture a baby with no heart?
It would be hard. The Grinch. So he has everything that I've bought in the month of May. I've been like, that can be my Mother's Day present. That can be my Mother's Day present. And so he's like, what are we going to get you for Mother's Day? And I'm like, well, I'm glad your memory is failing because this is going great.
You don't remember all the other things that you already bought me. Great.
Here's what I want. I want a pickleball set.
A pickleball set.
Do you not know?
You could play with Cliff and Jasa.
What?
They play pickleball.
No. Since when?
I don't know. One of Cliff's really good friends who was visiting here from California recently basically invented pickleball. Like, not really, but like kind of invented pickleball or something.
Okay.
What I just said can't be true, but like there's something behind that.
If you said it, I just believed it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I'm like,
he didn't
okay.
invent pickleball, but like he was really early and integral to the development and popularization of pickleball in the United States. That's what I know.
I wish he would have named it not pickleball.
Yeah. Like,
I don't like
could it have
pickles.
been something a bit more highbrow, you know?
Or, maybe like sports oriented. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Something less Tanya averse.
So I've been wanting to play, and so Cabela's has a set, and then you can start in your driveway. So I think we're going to run to Cabela's tonight and get the set. Sean could not be more thrilled, she says, rolling her eyes, about this new development, this new habit of mine. Because we've been getting out and walking every night, and so we always walk past the tennis courts, and there's like, you know how it is in Memorial Park, there's like 30 courts.
Right.
And sometimes people are playing pickleball, and I'm like, see, we could be one of those people. And he's like,
We could be those pickling right now.
we could.
We could
And
be
he's
those
like,
pickle playing
"Oh."
people ball.
I mean, he's like, okay, well, all right. I think he just knows it's inevitable. There's no need to fight it. So
Right.
that's what we're going to do. And then Sunday, Jordan and Josh are taking me finally to see Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And I
Which
looked
they should,
online.
because it's your day.
It's my day. It's Mother's Day. And I looked online, and there are 4 tickets sold in the theater, and they are the 4 that I bought. So we could be the only people in the whole theater. So that would
Maybe
be
they
cool.
reserved it for Mother's Day.
That's it. It's Tanya's day. Tanya's coming. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's all I got, Jarrett.
Are you here in the theater? It's me, Tanya.
If so, maybe I can come to you live. No, I think that's against the law. You can't record things in a movie
That's
theater.
true. Yeah, the FBI will be at your door like that next
I
day.
can't do that. Never mind.
Yeah, you'll be in handcuffs for the piracy warning.
Okay, close us out, Jarrett.
Okay, yeah. So, do we do words of wisdom?
Nope, we don't do that. We haven't done that in a while. Jason
That's
just
good,
says,
because I don't have any.
okay. Jason just says thanks for joining us, and then she asks everyone to review and rate us and listen and join us on Patreon.
Okay. All right. Well, so hold on. Here we go. That was intentional throat clearing, so don't edit it out.
Okay.
It's part of the thing. It's part of the bit. Thanks everybody for listening. This has been another episode of Superlatively Yes with your host Tanya Smith and your substitute host Jarrett Dawson. For more information, please go to superlatively_yes.com/creed thoughts. No, that's not right. I didn't do it right. No, but you definitely should subscribe on Patreon. And what else should they do?
Oh, visit us on Instagram. Rate
Visit
and
us on
review
Instagram.
us. Visit us on
Yeah.
Facebook. And then
No, because I
just,
actually am on the Instagram, so definitely go check that out.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay. Thanks for being a wonderful guest host today. You nailed it.
I am always here to help in a way that makes me the center of attention.
Okay. Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. And we'll catch you next week.
Love you, friend.
Love ya. Bye, everybody.